Hello,
Hello,
everybody, and
everybody,
welcome
and
to the
welcome to
Wild
the
and Brave
Wild and
YouTube
Brave
channel.
YouTube channel.
I'm Coach
I'm
Morgan
Coach Morgan
Hendrix, and I am
Hendrix, and
so
I am
excited
so
that you are
excited that
here
you
with
are
us
here with
today
us today
because I have
I
a
have
wonderful
a
partner
wonderful
joining
partner
me as a
joining me as a
guest
guest
here for our
here for
topic
our
today,
topic
which
today,
is
which is
helping people
helping
change
people
without
change
going
without going
crazy.
crazy.
Shadana
Shadana
is a
is a
fashion
fashion
designer and
designer
life
and
coach,
life
and
coach,
she
and
is
she
one of the
is
most
one of the most
uplifting voices
uplifting
in my
voices
life.
in my
I'm
life.
really
I'm
blessed
really
to call
blessed to
Shadana
call
a friend.
Shadana a friend.
And I'm so
And
glad you
I'm
could
so glad
join
you
us
could
today,
join us today,
Shadana. Thank you
Shadana.
for
Thank
being
you for
here.
being here.
Thank you for having me, Morgan. I'm excited to be here and to be wild and brave with everyone.
Yes. Well, you
Well,
have a
you
lot
have a
of
lot of
experience on
experience on
YouTube, and
YouTube,
we have a
and we
brand
have
new
a
baby
brand new baby
channel.
channel.
So we really
So we really
appreciate you coming
appreciate you
and
coming
joining
and
us
joining
and
us and
exploring a
exploring
wild
a
idea
wild idea
together.
together.
It's one of the
It's
things
one
we
of the
love
things we
to
love
do
to
at
do
Wild and
at Wild
Brave.
and Brave.
For some of
For
you who
some
are
of you
catching
who
us
are
here,
catching
you
us
may
here,
have
you may
met
have
Wild and
met
Brave
Wild and
back
Brave
on
back on
Facebook.
Facebook.
You may know
You may know
Shadana from
Shadana
her
from her
fashion label,
fashion label,
for some of
for some
the
of the
empowerment teaching
empowerment
that she
teaching
has
that she
done.
has done.
Whatever brought you
Whatever
here
brought you
today,
here
we're
today,
so
we're
glad you're
so
with
glad
us.
you're with us.
And
And
let's talk about
let's
the
talk about the
context for
context
why
for
we're
why
talking
we're
about
talking
helping
about
people
helping people
change.
change.
For us as
For us
coaches,
as
Shadana,
coaches,
you and I
Shadana, you
both
and I
know that
both
when
know
you're
that when you're
working with
working with
someone, a lot of
someone, a
times
lot
they
of
seek
times
out
they
a
seek
coach
out a
because
coach
they're
because
trying
they're
to
trying to
grow or
grow
improve
or
their
improve
life
their
or make
life or make
changes.
changes.
What are some of
What
the
are some of the
difficult
difficult
changes you see
changes you
people
see
trying
people
to make in
trying
their
to make in
life
their
that
life
sometimes
that
makes them
sometimes
reach
makes
out
them
and
reach
need
out and
help?
need help?
Well, I think people are always trying to make changes in their life. I think a lot of people reach out when they get stuck with their career, or maybe they feel like they're being complacent, maybe at work or in their relationships with other people, and they've tried everything. They've exhausted all of their options, and they're just like, I need help. It's time to reach out to someone.
Totally.
Totally.
That
That
professional
professional
transition or
transition
the
or the
relationship
relationship
friction
friction
or
or
a sense of
a sense
loss
of
or lack
loss
in
or lack in
relationships, sometimes
relationships, sometimes
burnout, right?
burnout, right?
Yes,
And
burnout.
sometimes people
Sometimes people
know, a lot of
know, a
times
lot
we
of
know
times
when
we
we
know
need
when we need
change, and we
change,
might even
and we
reach
might
out
even
for help
reach out
for
for
it.
help for it.
Sometimes, though,
Sometimes,
we
though,
don't
we
know how
don't know
much we
how
need to
much we need
change,
to
or
change,
maybe
or
we just
maybe we
don't think
just don't
change is
think change is
possible.
possible.
And so
And so
today's topic of
today's
helping
topic of
people
helping people
change,
change,
part of what
part of what
we want
we
to
want
cover
to
is
cover
the
is
crazy
the
part,
crazy
how
part, how
difficult,
difficult,
draining,
draining,
exhausting, or even
exhausting, or even
demoralizing it can
demoralizing
be
it
to
can
try
be
to
to
help
try to
people
help people
change.
change.
If you don't
If you
feel
don't
like
feel like
success is
success
something
is
that you
something that
can
you can
intentionally help
intentionally
shepherd
help
them
shepherd
through.
them through.
So this
So
falls under
this
the
falls under
category
the
of
category of
change.
change.
You can think
You
in
can
this in
think in
terms
this
of
in terms of
habits. We teach a
habits. We
lot on
teach a lot
habits
on
here at
habits
Wild
here
and
at
Brave.
Wild and
But
Brave.
we're talking
But we're
about this
talking about
today
this today
because if you're
because if
watching
you're
this,
watching
you're
this, you're
probably someone
probably
who
someone who
cares deeply
cares
about the
deeply
people in
about the
your life.
people in your life.
And when
And
you
when you
love
love
people, you
people,
see
you
something
see
hurting
something
them.
hurting them.
Sometimes you're
Sometimes you're
motivated
motivated to help them
begin
begin
changing even
changing
before
even
they're
before
ready.
they're ready.
And this
And
video is
this
for you
video is for
today.
you today.
All right, so
All right, so
today's
today's
wild
wild
idea
idea
is all
is
about
all about
how change
how change
happens.
happens.
Change
Change
happens in
happens in
stages.
stages.
That's really the
That's really
wild
the
idea
wild
here.
idea here.
We don't
We
just
don't
Nike
just
just
Nike
do it.
just do it.
Action is
Action
only
is
one
only
of
one
six
of six
stages of
stages of
change.
change.
So
So
when we're
when
helping
we're
people
helping
change,
people
if we
change,
only
if we
focus
only
on whether
focus
they're
on whether
taking
they're
action
taking
or
action or
not,
not,
we can
we
really
can
become
really become
exhausted and
exhausted and
discouraged.
discouraged.
If you're a
If
coach
you're
or
a
a
coach or a
caregiver or
caregiver
a
or
friend,
a friend,
you can
you
really
can
avoid
really avoid
burnout by
burnout
learning
by
these
learning these
stages of
stages of
change
change
and
and
growing your
growing your
framework of
framework of
progress.
progress.
This is kind of a
This is kind
personal
of a
question.
personal
I
question.
didn't prepare you for it, Shadana, but
Shadana,
have
but
you ever
have you
been
ever been
discouraged when you were
discouraged when you
trying to
were
help
trying to
a
help
friend
a
or a
friend
loved
or a
one,
loved
or maybe
one, or
even a
maybe even a
client
client
to make a
to make a
change? Have you ever
change? Have
gotten
you ever gotten
discouraged when
discouraged
they
when they
struggled to take
struggled to take
action?
action?
Yeah, I have. Because sometimes you can look at a friend or a loved one and you can see that they need change. And so you reach out to help them. But sometimes people aren't always receiving of the advice that you give them. I do believe that people have to be in a certain season in their life. They have to be ready and open and willing to change before they can actually implement those steps, if that makes sense. They have to be mentally there before they can put it to action. So sometimes we can see, a person and in their life and it may not be going right or they may not be on the right track and we're trying to reach out to help them, but they have to be ready to receive it before you can actually see a change in their life.
That readiness, it sounds like you have noticed that people can come and go from seasons of readiness. How maybe
Right.
someone who's totally not ready in one season becomes ready. And that is something that really falls in line with this, because what you have done is you're noting that there's in and out of season for action. One of the really encouraging things, for those of you who've heard us use the term before, the trans-theoretical model of change is the one that says change happens in stages. And it's one of the most researched and studied schools of thought on change for the past 20 years. And in that process, the readiness doesn't have to be present for the stages to start. But before we see any progress at all, people have to come along. Like their minds and their hearts have to catch up to the change that needs to make, that they need to make, or that they need to see happen in their lives. It really makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And to touch on that just a little bit,
Please.
I believe that you can plant something in someone's mind. They may not be ready to change, but once you plant it in their mind, when that season comes, they will remember that advice or that tip that you share with them.
Wow. I think it takes a lot of humility and ownership to stay engaged in helping people change when you recognize that sometimes the only help you can be is planting a seed. I think it's easy as a coach for me to get an ego boost when someone I'm working with is in a change stage. Even with friends, right? They're ready and I say something and they go, "That's brilliant, I'm going to do that tomorrow," and then they do it and I'm feeling awesome. Right? It's easy to feel like we help when they're in the action stage. They seek advice and they take it. But in the earlier stages, when it's seed planting time, we have to trust that investment is if it's the one we can make, it is the most important to make. I love that. That is a really good reminder. So if you're watching and you are trying to encourage someone and you can tell they're not ready to act, but you cannot just zip your lip and not do something to encourage them. Maybe think about being in a seed planting stage. What wild idea might spark some growth or reflection maybe in the person you're trying to care for. It's a great reminder. Sometimes I like to, when we get a chance to really have these conversations, say, why do we care about this? What is the impact? What is the point of navigating stages? Stages of change sounds like this long process, right? It's funny though. Most of us have what the experts call an action model of change. It is the Nike mindset. It says if you're motivated and you've made up your mind, then you just do it. Right? You just do it. And so if you're not doing it, it means you either failed to bring enough motivation, or you didn't really. You weren't honest with yourself. You didn't really make up your mind. And it's very demoralizing. So even though there are stages, we find that working through them with integrity is actually less exhausting than having to power action with just pure determination and motivation. Have you ever noticed someone, maybe yourself or maybe a friend, get discouraged because they had an action model of change? Maybe they were hard on themselves for not being motivated enough, or undermined themselves. Have you seen that, Shadana? Yeah.
To be honest, you can self-motivate yourself, but sometimes it's hard to get motivated depending on your surroundings, you know? Maybe you have a negative influence of friends, and maybe you have family members who are not motivating you. I'm very high in spirit. I'm a self-motivator, but what really keeps me going is my family and friends, that support system. And I think that's important for people. I think you need a great support system, and when you don't have that, sometimes it's hard to be motivated and actually do stuff.
Totally. That is a really good point. You know, one of the things, we're going to take just a pause here real quick. There we go. Wonderful. Just wanted to make sure the YouTube stream was keeping up with this topic. You know, self-motivation is one of the things that we really take responsibility for. Right? We want to make sure that we're owning what we are actually bringing to the table. And I think that's really important. I think it's important to hold ourselves to that. But we cannot overstate the importance of taking actions that improve our environments. Taking actions that build a supportive network for ourselves. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. That's really important.
And that's just want to touch on something. And that's one thing I always try to teach my clients. If they can, try to remove the toxicity with the noisiness. And sometimes that comes from family and friends, you know.
Yeah. It really can. Sometimes the people you care about the most don't always have you, right? Energy you genuinely need in order to be supported. And that can be hard because you care about them. Sometimes you need to build a support network around yourself, and then give to those you care about, but make sure you're being cared for. All right. So when we kind of get into this topic, and I want to check the comments for a second. I want to make sure the stream health is okay with our. There we go. It does look like it's having a little trouble streaming. I just don't want to miss this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like it's really YouTube is having trouble. Mm-hmm.
All right, I paused the stream. Yeah, I want to see if we can get. I wonder how I can improve the stream health, because it looks like it's just struggling to be live. Let's see. It's my CPU. Let me see if I can. Sorry, friend.
It's okay. It's a great conversation. We don't want people to miss it.
Right? God bless our internet connection.
I know. We We love virtual, but sometimes it gives us issues, right?
Right? Well, I am recording it. Um,
Yeah.
so there's a chance we may need to re-upload
Yeah.
instead of streaming live.
Hmm.
What do you feel about that? I could
That's what I
just,
was actually thinking. I was going to mention that since we are
yep,
recording, you can still upload it and people can still get the footage
yep.
and see.
That's one of the things I wanted this system for is actually records it to my computer. So if YouTube's having trouble, I don't have to let that one work on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it keep trying to stream.
Hmm.
And if it comes back on, it comes back on. But we'll just use the recording and I'll edit it at the end. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
See, if it wants to heal itself and somebody's live, then that's fine too. Okay. All right, so I will give us some context. All right. So we have when we talk about this idea of helping people change and navigating change, being motivated, taking action. There are a lot of things that pop up. This time we really want to focus on the stages of change, and make sure that we are allowing ourselves to progress through the stages and not just expecting ourselves to magically make change happen out of thin air.
And you sound like an expert at that, Morgan. So can you tell us what the stages of change are?
I'd love to. I love the stages of change because I have been able to learn from some of the greatest research. I actually got permission from the authors of a book called Changing to Thrive. It's really how you take change and use these stages to overcome the major things that get in the way of health and happiness. So this is not my original material, but it is something that we have been given gracious permission to use by the author. So when we talk about the stages of change, there are 6 of them. The first is pre-contemplation. My sister and I like to say, oh no, I'm not changing. That's stage 1. It's where you're not ready to change and you're not even thinking about making change for the next 6 months. In order to help someone move out of not ready to becoming ready, you have to overcome things like, I don't know how to change. I'm demoralized, meaning I have no confidence. I have no sense of self being able to change. Or they're defensive. I shouldn't have to change. I don't want to. This is something I want to keep in my life. So pre-contemplation, stage 1 is no, I don't want to change. Could we just take a second and say, isn't that a little bit comforting? That even when we're at our least ready, we're still on the path to change. It can bring a little more humility back to those relationships of helping people, don't you think?
Yeah, and to your point where you say it's a little uncomfortable, what I notice with change, people have to be comfortable with the art of being uncomfortable,
Oh,
right?
It because it is. Even when you're doing
Hmm.
it right, making important changes is uncomfortable. But we
Yeah.
can become more familiar with, we can become more comfortable with that discomfort and
Hmm.
find it actually encouraging, right? Ooh, this is awkward. I must be trying something new.
Right.
So that definitely a growth mindset right there. That's great. Contemplation. This is where you start thinking about it, but you're still just getting ready at best. In the next 6 months, you might begin taking action. Yeah, I know I need to exercise more. Yeah, I know I need
Hmm.
more sleep.
Hmm.
I know I'm too tired. Whatever it is, that's stage 2. And sometimes we jump the gun as helpers when people enter stage 2 and say, "Great, you need to change. You want to change. Let's help you
Hmm.
do it right now."
Hmm.
And I put myself in the group with this. Here's the issue with jumping the gun on stage 2, is that you feed that person's sense of demoralization that they're not taking action because they're really not ready. You're giving
Mhm.
them credit with wanting to change when they haven't, like you said, Shadana, they haven't wrapped their minds around it yet. Their heart hasn't caught up with a
Mhm.
version of doing the thing that they want to do,
Mhm. Mhm.
that they feel good about, that they think is even possible, and they actually become less ready to change. We can knock people out of stage 2 back to stage 1 if we
Yeah.
treat them like they're ready to act when they're not.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, usually, what you're overcoming is doubt and delay. So, when you're
Mhm.
thinking about changing but not sure you can, you may have some doubts. And the delay is, there's a rationalization they call intellectualization, where you explain how and why, yes, I know I need to change, and I will when this very intellectual and reasonable thing happens. What you're really doing
Mhm.
is putting off something because for
Right.
whatever reason you feel not quite prepared.
Yeah.
So stage 3 is preparation, where you're actually ready to change and you're preparing to act. We can also be too action oriented here, where someone's still figuring out how. They may be
Mhm.
ready to start doing it, but they need to understand that there's some trial and error. There's some looking for good ideas around, getting ideas together that needs to happen before they expect themselves to do the thing.
Mhm.
As a coach, I've really harmed people in this stage by seeing them as in preparation, and instead of supporting them to prepare where they figure out what's going to serve them, they'll
Mhm.
say, I've had people come in very prepared, and they say, I need to jog in the mornings, I need to eat these things, I need
Mhm.
to stop doing this, right? Like they have this list, and I'm like, great, you have a plan. Would you like accountability?
Yeah. Yeah.
Accountability is not what you do in the
Mhm.
stage called preparation. They're still figuring out, as a coach or a friend, if someone's preparing to act, ask them questions that allow them to unpack, okay, what does running in the morning do for you?
Right.
Well, I mean, I have to get in shape and it's the fastest way to lose weight. It's the fastest way to lose weight. Well, yeah, my friend said it was the fastest lose. Do you like to run? No, I've never run before.
Mhm.
So this person has now an action plan to do something they've never done before and is expecting to do well with it. That's going to lead to discouragement, right? In
Yeah.
preparation, we help people rethink how and come up with new
Mhm.
ideas. Take some
And I was also
experiences.
gonna say it leads to overwhelm because we have a
Yes.
list of all of these things we need to do that's not even realistic. We can do them, but we can't do it all at once, you know?
Exactly. And we can't even really, this is my opinion, but I think we muddy the results of the
Mhm.
action we're taking if we try to take tons of action at once, when
Mhm.
sometimes we need to fiddle with one thing because then we
Mhm.
can see, why am I so tired? Was which of the
Right.
6 things I'm trying to change at once is discouraging me? I just want to quit them all. But if you take them one at a time, you don't get as overwhelmed and you can kind of learn more. To really get past and successfully navigate stage 3, we have to overcome our dread of failing. This is
Mm.
definitely a phase I get stuck in a lot. It's a place I've spent some time preparing to launch this YouTube channel. For months now, I've been working on getting strategies together and content and guests, and I don't want to fail at it. I don't want to create something of hope and feel that I didn't give